Nothing like one guy holding us up, huh? I think he should have to make it amends somehow.
Ray, you there?
He's connecting, it says.
There we go.
I can hear you.
Yay!
Yay.
Quite a challenge. All right. I'd like to get things started if you all are in agreement, and welcome everybody to the regular October meeting of the Zoning Commission. And the 5 regular members are in attendance and are seated for our first continuation of a public hearing we started in September. Request of TFCPS LLC 280 Neldon Hollow Road for a special permit from section 17.9, replacement of a non-conforming structure for an accessory building. Mr. Szymanski, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Before we get too deeply involved in this continuation, is there anything that you want to tell us or notify us of?
Yeah, I was just going to ask for the application to be tabled. Since there's no house on the property, we would like to propose a single-family dwelling on the property.
I really would rather not table it. I think if you want to withdraw it, that's fine. I don't want it hanging around on our to-do list or in our agendas from now until I'm not sure when.
I couldn't hear what you just said, Nick. It broke up. I don't know if it broke up for anyone else.
Okay, yeah. I don't think the commission is used to having public hearings tabled, and so I think it's certainly my choice to have the application withdrawn.
So I'm now legally allowed to ask for the meeting to be continued as the applicant
Well, I mean,
by statute?
when do you want to continue? Continued is one thing, tabled is another.
Oh, sorry, I meant continued. I thought it meant the same thing. I apologize. Until the next month.
Okay. And with no discussion currently tonight.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. Then at Mr. Szymanski's request, I make a motion that we continue this application request of TFCPS LLC 280 Neldon Hollow Road for a special permit from section 17.9, replacement of a non-conforming structure for an accessory building. Is there a second?
Second.
And Shelley, we are in compliance with our ability to continue this as far as, and I think does it go beyond the 65 days that we normally have?
Well, we have the additional 90 days because of COVID.
Okay. So I made a motion and someone seconded it?
Mm-hmm.
Two of us.
Okay. All in favor? Any more discussion on this?
Could I just have the number of that property again?
280.
280, thank you.
Yeah. Hearing no more discussion, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
So carried. You bet, Paul. Okay, moving on, the request of Van Veen, 41 East Street for a special permit from sections 13.11.3, accessory apartment detached. As I recall, there was possibly going to be some discussion between Paul, your client, or between yourself and the Glass family, Daniel Glass, the neighbor?
Yeah, my understanding is Mr. Titman, who's the architect on the project, spoke with Mr. Glass. Mrs. Glass was kind enough to send me the existing wetlands on their property. She had indicated that it was sent to Tammy as well. If I can share my screen, I will show that to the commission.
Sure.
Oh, it says only the host can share.
Yep.
Working on it.
Or Tammy, you'd have to relinquish your being a host or share, I guess,
Yep.
with Paul.
Oh, we've gotten that map.
Oh, you do? I didn't realize that. I apologize.
We have it.
Okay, so what it shows is that the wetlands that are closest to East Street is 100 feet away from our property line. The upland review area is actually shown on that. The other wetlands, the secondary wetlands pocket as well, is down in the field, and that's 100 feet away from the activity as well. I also submitted for the record after the last meeting sworn affidavit from Mr. Van Veen at the request of Ms. Hill with respect to him occupying the residence.
With respect to the Van Veens occupying their residence.
Yep.
I was under the impression that we got a note from the Glasses saying that wetland was like within 15 feet of the property line. Am I incorrect or what?
It's not what the map shows.
Yeah, I went up there today and actually found this. It was like a depression. There was no water in this vernal pool, and I paced it off at least 90 feet, and that's just pacing through the woods. So,
That's the same one that they're talking about, right?
yes, there's
Yeah.
only.
Okay. All right.
So
What about the issue of them building on the property line?
well, on the setback from the property line,
Right.
right?
At the last meeting, I had indicated that as a condition, if the commission's to consider this for approval, that the applicant is volunteering to stake the foundation, as-built the foundation, and submit it to staff, as well as a final as-built to confirm throughout all steps of construction it's compliant with respect to the setbacks.
Okay, but they're sticking to the 25 feet 6 inches from the property line to basically the southern exposure or elevation of the entry into the basement. I think that's the one issue, correct?
Yeah, it's only the Bilco.
Yeah.
The rest of the structure is several feet.
Right. Was there any other discussion regarding seeing lights or noise, or understanding that there may be noise from the Glasses?
What do you mean by?
Well, I think that they made a comment that they would be potentially at the present site. It would they would incur lighting and noise issues. I just remembered.
There is a whole. I'm gonna I'm going to call in, Nick, because you're breaking up on me. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
While he's doing that, Nick, how wide is that field between the two homes that the glass is on? It's got to be 400 or 500 feet.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know exactly.
It's approximately 650 feet.
Yeah, that's a pretty good buffer.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know, it's not working, but it's over 650 feet from the proposed structure to the Glass's house residence. There's also a large amount of existing vegetation as well.
Also, he knows, you, Paul and Harold, you guys know that you have to obviously follow the regulations for the night sky friendly lighting. So I don't know what the worry would be about the lighting from the neighbor.
Yeah, so as part of the application for the commission who doesn't know, we have to submit the lighting specifications to staff, and all the fixtures are night sky friendly, so there's no objectionable glare. It doesn't go beyond the property line, so they wouldn't be able to see it. Based on their comments, we are proposing a buffer of shadblow and green giant arborvitaes between the structure and the property line to provide both deciduous and evergreen screening. So basically the idea is throughout all seasons, there will be additional vegetative screening beyond that which already exists.
Paul, that was arborvitae and
Green giant arborvitaes with the evergreens, and shadblow, which is a deciduous ornamental tree. It's like a shrub.
And are you providing enough of these of this vegetation stretched over a certain distance? Do you have a?
Yeah, it's the entire length of the structure along the common property line.
Okay.
And we're happy to make that a condition of approval, obviously.
Yep. Does the commission have any specific questions before I go to the public?
I don't.
Okay. Ray?
Not here.
Nope.
No, none.
Janet?
No. Okay.
Is she on mute?
She is, but she has no comments.
Okay. Does the public have anything to say about this application? Speak now.
Yep. Hi, Nick. It's Daniel Glass.
Oh, hi, Dan.
Hi. Thanks for letting us on. And Paul, thank you for elaborating and clarifying some of the things. I just to summarize our concerns from last month is, just to repeat for anybody who is new on this call, is that we bought the farm really as almost the defensive protection of the beautiful East Street and the bucolic nature of the road and the integrity of the street we love, and which was called, Dull Hill. And we love it as a farm, and I think the Harans have done a very good job keeping that together, which really, if you look at optics, benefits the new owner of the house, the Van Veen, Ricky's view and peace of mind more than anybody's. So what I got concerned is when we did buy the property and we did look at our map, we saw the vernal pool, which in a wetter time, this has been the driest summer I could remember, so nothing is full yet, and it will be. But if Nick, you walked it, and Paul, you feel it's far enough from there, we just don't want the integrity of the farm to ever be impeded or compromised at any point for anybody, because it is a working farm, and it would be a shame to have a structure that close, and I'd be surprised if wetlands would allow it. But if you say it is the 100 feet and it maintains the integrity, then we have no further questions on that. As far as light and noise, we were, when the leaves come down, we were hoping that we would not be seeing a structure so much closer to us with lights in our face And the noise, we just hope we have respectful neighbors, that it's not a party house. We can't do that on this Zoom. I trust that these are nice people, and Paul has represented, and Harold did talk to me when I was in town about it, that it will be on that type of thing. So that really is it. And I appreciate the vegetation you're going to be putting up, because we'll need it, especially 12 months a year. From the November through May, when there'll not be foliage, and and the leaves won't be there. So that was really the questions I had. And Nick, I've not walked that as you have, and Paul, we trust that. That's why we wanted to get everybody the map, and the Harans were as concerned as we were, and that really is it.
Okay, thank you.
And just to clarify what our intention is, if we're to receive approval, we're going to reach out to Mr. and Mrs. Class and Nick Pooter, who's the landscape architect that's been retained. Once all the leaves drop, we're then going to present the final plan to the classes to show the mixture of both deciduous and non-deciduous vegetation, just to make sure it meets their approval. But we feel confident we'll be able to work together.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
Paul, to your knowledge, is there any exterior lighting on the southern elevation?
There's 2 residential style light fixtures adjacent to the doors, which is required by the building code. Otherwise, there's no lighting proposed. And they are to be a residential style light fixture, full cutoff.
And the access from the southern elevation, I don't have the map in front of me, but is center, where is it in relation to the length of the elevation?
1/3 off each end.
Okay, and are there 2 access doors there, or are there?
Correct. They're only to be there for emergency egress purposes. There's no landing. There's no actual usage in that area.
And do they go up from each bedroom? Did you hear that?
Yes, that's correct.
Did they go from each bedroom to the outside?
Yes.
To the, okay.
Yes.
And that's, as you said, required by code?
Yes.
All right. Then any other questions from commissioners or the public? If there are none, I will accept a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay.
Second. Then all in favor. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. To close.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
None?
you.
So carried. Yep. Our third public hearing is request of Gibson, 47 Kirby Road, for a special permit for section 17.9, replacement of a non-conforming structure for a studio/shed.
It's like every 5 minutes.
Nick, so I did a review. I did not send it to you guys. I apologize for that. Things have been crazy. So this is basically an existing shed, studio structure, whatever, and it's been there over 80 years, predating zoning regulations. Mr. Gibson did get a letter from a professional engineer stating that the structure should be completely replaced, and that's on file. Basically, he has everything that is required of him on file. I didn't have any questions other than whether you guys consider that it meets the special permit standards. I think it does, but that's not for me to decide. So I guess, Mr. Baker, you're here, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I guess if you guys have any questions, you can ask Mr. Baker, who is the builder for the proposed rebuilding.
I think George is here too.
Oh, okay.
I went to the site today. George, I did not call you ahead of time, but I just drove in, took a look, and thought it was important that someone had actually takes a look at the situation. Yes, it is a shed that is dilapidated, and I think, as was stated, could potentially fall down any month now. But and it butts right up, or is adjacent to the old right-of-way, the old Kirby Road extension, and clearly not enough setback to that. I think the whole garage may be actually within the non-conforming setback zone. As far as the materials used, I think it's 20 by 15 structure. You said that you would be using the existing concrete foundation or not?
Well, there's piers on ledge.
Okay.
So if when the building is removed, we can use the existing piers, we will. Otherwise, we'll replace them with a suitable structural pier.
And as far as you're saying here in your diagram that you're going to use machine cut white cedar shingles for shakes for the roof, is that correct?
Yep.
And the siding will be, looks like clapboard, but I can't, fill me in on what the siding is.
I believe it's cedar clapboards for the most part, but the gable ends may be some sort of a vertical cedar.
I've seen white cedar put on roofs and they don't last nearly as long as red cedar. Just a hint.
We may opt for pressure treated red cedar.
Yes, that would be very wise. Sliding door on the south side. And
That's existing. I'm recreating it.
Okay.
I don't know if, oh, good, I'm finally able to speak. That's strange. Sorry, I guess I had a computer glitch there. No, I just want to rebuild this old shed. The materials I sent out to the adjoiners and to the commission, those two elevations are almost identical to what's there. Oddly enough, there is a pair of windows with transoms sort of hidden in the, I don't know if you noticed when you went down there. And I'm trying to recreate exactly what's there, basically, but I'm going to make the inside nicer, of course.
Yeah. No, I did notice that circular glass transom.
What about the size of that building?
What,
The size? What about the size compared to the original?
Identical. It's identical.
All right.
Size, foundations, roof slope, no changes.
And as Shelley, as far as the standards on section 13, I don't have my book right in front of me, but if you have if someone has their book, we just go down quickly.
Okay, hold on. So special permit standards, the proposed use is consistent with the objectives of the POCD. Of course it is. The location, type, character, size, scale, proportion, appearance, and intensity of the proposed use is in harmony with and conform to the appropriate and orderly development of the town and the neighborhood. Yes, it's been there. So
Yep.
I don't see that the nature and location of the proposed use or building is added. Oh, for fire protection purposes or other emergency services. I don't know if that applies to does that apply to a shed studio? I mean, I'm sure it does have access.
Well, as long as there's access, there's sufficient
Yeah.
access.
Yeah. And it doesn't do anything to the town's existing rural street network. And the lot is sufficient in size and adequate shape. It's, it's not over on coverage, or it doesn't change the topography in any way. And I don't know I don't think it's necessary for more landscaping or to protect the neighborhood or adjacent properties. So I think that's fine. And let's see, the proposed plans have provided for the conservation of natural features. I mean, they're just replacing what's existing. So the drainage basins, everything environmentally is fine. And it's not going to create any nuisance, noise, or fumes. And I doubt there's going to be any blasting.
Yep.
So I think it meets the standards.
Great. Thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome.
Yep. Does the public have any comments regarding this application? Seeing none. Does the commission have any questions for Mr. Baker or Mr. Gibson?
No, I'm good.
What type of studio is it going to be?
Just I got 5 generations of artists, basically. It's just for me and my children to paint in, maybe
Great.
some bookshelves. Nothing weird. I'm not. There's a deed restriction actually on the old deed that prevents any commercial use of this property down here.
Yes.
And there's no plumbing proposed or anything, so it's not. I'm not gonna rent it out or anything.
Right.
It's a lovely spot in the woods down here, and it's the shed's turn to get some attention.
George, was your property at one point connected physically with the Sumax property?
Yeah, sure.
And yeah.
Yeah, this was William Hamilton Gibson's carriage house.
Right.
He built the Sumax and then had this thing the main house here moved down, I don't know how, probably by oxen or something, before there were cars. And this house here became a studio. And then Hamilton Gibson, who was the headmaster of the gunnery, had a couple of wings built on and raised 5 kids here, one of whom was Dana.
Right. All right. Thank you for that. So if there are no other questions from the commission, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Before we adjourn, Nick, I had a concern. Why am I feeling so ignorant about this application? Just my usual density, or have I missed something? Have I seen it before? The diagram, the map, any materials?
Yes.
I have.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound like you have, but they've been sent out.
What was it? How was it defined?
I want to say I sent it.
It was about 18 pages.
Thank you.
It was one of the attachments in Tammy's 5 attachments. It was one of them.
I thought there was one I could not open. Maybe I didn't
Maybe
wait
that's-
long enough for 18 pages to open.
It's a long one.
Yeah, okay, then I'll go back and take a look at it. I've just exceeded my density scale.
Really? Maybe that's who's messing with the lights.
Right behind you, Ray.
So, Ray, if you have any questions about this application, I would suggest bringing them up.
No, as long as Shelley has gone through it and
Yep.
has not raised any red flags, that's usually good enough for me.
Thank you. It is. It's good. Pretty thorough.
If she says so herself.
Yep. So we had a motion and a second. Did I?
Had a motion.
Do we have? Okay. All in favor of closing the public hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. All right. Let's go into our regular meeting. Call to order 5 regular members. Consideration of the minutes. I will accept a motion to consider both or individually, however you wish. I think I had one. On the September 28, I just had something circled here. The last paragraph on the front page, Ms. White stated that he was referring to Mr. Ziska, asked if the structure could be replaced without a primary structure on the property, comma, not about the language of the section. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
On October 13th minutes, in the second page in the middle, Tammy, it says Chairman Solly as Ms. White, and goes on, and the last, and it says Chairman Solly stated that they would need 2 months for the process. That is the time before going to public hearing for, I think, section 12.8.
Okay.
So that they could receive another referral from the Planning Commission as well as from, and it should be surrounding COGS, not just the Northwest Council of Governments.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I will, given that correction of October 13th, I'll make a motion that we approve both sets of minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. All right. Pending applications. What did I do with? We have a request of TFCS LLC 280 Netherland Hall Road for a special permit from sections 17.9, replacement of a non-conforming structure for an accessory building. We voted to
Continue.
To
continue.
we voted to continue that to our November meeting, which is, if someone has
November
23rd?
23rd.
23rd?
Yeah.
23rd is the fourth Monday, yes.
Yep. And Tammy, within our calendar, that's correct. We didn't. Okay.
We didn't bump it.
Second, request of Van Veen, 41 East Street for a special permit for sections 13.11.3, accessory apartment detached. I would move that we approve this application and conditional on the landscaping that was provided by Mr. Szymanski of green arborvitae and shadblow that will be planted along the entire length of the southern exposure of the house, the southern elevation. Is Paul still here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That,
Oh, Nick froze. Uh-oh.
Nick's frozen.
I was just gonna unmute you
Oh, here we go.
Nick, wake up.
Come on, Shelley, what'd you do to Nick?
I didn't do anything.
Now's the time to suppress nasty comments.
I do that all day.
I think we lost him.
Oh, he's coming back, I think.
With only some degree of success, right, Shelley?
Yes, yes. It's a inherited problem. My mother is, I see a lot of similarities with me and my mother.
Paul, is he a baseball player?
Soccer right now, but baseball, T-ball was earlier.
Okay, good.
Much more talented than his father.
We don't
That's not saying.
But Ray, neither father nor son stayed up to see that World Series game on Saturday night. Can you imagine that?
Now. There you are, Nick.
on my back.
You're back.
I accidentally, with my foot, kicked a multiple plug lightning protecting thing, and everything went blank. So
We've already adjourned, Nick.
all right, I made a motion to approve the Van Veen application with the landscaping condition. I think there should be a second, hopefully.
But
Nick, am I off mute?
Yes.
Okay, you were also going to,
stake the foundation, have an as-built for that prior to construction because it's so close to the boundary line?
Yeah, I think that's a practice anyway, but we can certainly add that as a condition. And I think, and submit to the land use office an as-built of the foundation
Right, yeah.
prior even to construction. So the green arborvitae, the shadblow, the staking of the foundation, and an as-built prior to continued construction after the pouring of the foundation. Anyway, did someone second? I don't know.
I'll
a second.
Okay, any other discussion? Any other conditions? Then, hearing none, All in favor of granting Ben Bean a special permit application, signify by saying aye.
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 Oh, opposed? So carried.
Thank you for your time. Have a great night, everyone.
Aye.
Thanks, Paul.
All right. Our third public hearing was a request of George Gibson, 47 Kirby Road, for a special permit from section 17.9, replacement of a non-conforming structure for a studio and/or shed. Having gone up to the location and with Shelley's administrative review and Mr. Gibson's giving us a little history on that, I happily make a motion to approve this application.
I'll
Second.
second it.
Okay. Tammy, take your pick. Any further discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, so carried.
Thank you very much.
You bet. All right. New applications. Request of Didier, I guess that's the way you're supposed to pronounce it, 51 Green Hill Road for a special permit from section 17.9, replacement of a conforming structure to replace an existing rear porch. Tammy, is this what house is this?
This is the house right out here going down Green Hill towards the depot. It's, hold on one second.
Is it not Holden's old house?
It's the next one that's right on the road.
Okay, it's
And then the other, what's that?
Moody Bridge.
That side road, it goes down really steep, that goes down into Barnes and,
yep.
Moody Bridge?
Yep,
what did you say?
Moody Bridge.
Moody Bridge, yes. So the whole thing is, the whole house is in the setbacks.
Yep. Okay. So I'll make a motion that we schedule this public hearing at 7:30 on November 23rd.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Request of Patel, Patel, 168 New Milford Turnpike for a special permit from sections 1313, housing in a business district for an apartment. Okay, someone fill us in as to where 168 New Milford Turnpike is.
Where Esther Devine's shop is, Dr. Kane's shop.
Okay, and so there was a request to create an apartment above that building, the Esther's particular building.
Yes, it's
I don't know
now,
who owns it, but
it's now a, there's a podiatrist's office. Let's see.
Hey, how's it going? I'm the
There we go.
podiatrist.
oh, there.
Nice to meet you all. Yeah, so I'm in their complex. I actually own 2 units there. I actually own I own 2 units. So the first floor is my podiatry office, which I opened up in the beginning of this year, and then I also own the unit upstairs. And I would like to. So this conversion to the apartment will be directly above my unit. I will be the person who will be directly below.
All right. This gentleman knows all about the health department needs and all the things that are necessary for this particular use.
Yes, he's spoken with Suzanne.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion that we schedule a public hearing for this 168 New Milford Turnpike for a special permit for housing in a business district for an apartment on November 23rd at 7:30 PM. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor say
Aye.
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 aye. All opposed, thank you, so carried. Third request is of Dan and Deborah Glass, 67 East Street for a special permit for sections 1311.3, accessory apartment detached for an apartment. All right. Is 67 East Street their house number?
Yes.
Tammy or Jill?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I make a motion, we schedule a public hearing for November 23rd for the glass application at 7:30 PM. Do I need a second?
I have it.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Nick,
Tammy, are you gonna make a motion? Tammy, are you gonna bring up,
I
the
am.
35 potash?
yes, we received an application for 35 Potash LLC at 35 Potash Road for a special permit from section 17.9 to rebuild a non-conforming structure for a garage/barn. It was an oversight on my behalf and I apologize. So if we could make a motion to add that to the agenda.
Okay, then I would like to make a motion to add subsequent business to this agenda and this meeting of what Tammy just brought up, potash, 35 potash for the rebuilding of a non-conforming garage. We need a motion I'll make that motion to add it to our agenda and business for this evening. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Nick, just for information, is that just down below those two new homes are already being constructed there?
It's an existing barn. It's an existing barn that is falling apart and they're going to rebuild it. I'm not sure exactly where it is. There is work being done there.
All right, I'll ride by and check it. Thanks.
Okay, I see Elliot Johnson popped into the peanut gallery here. I don't know if he's got something to do with this.
No, he's with 67 East Street.
Hi, this is Andre Drobinski, Builders.
This is Andre. He's working on 35 Potash Hill.
Okay, and is this the old Sachs property or now, tell me who is the owner now?
It's Mrs. Bergen, Candace Bergen.
Yep. And so there's the old home as you're heading down the road on the left.
So that's the
Art and Mary Sachs lived there.
That's the daughter and son-in-law on the opposite side to the existing house. They're building a new house, and the existing barn is basically falling apart, and we would like to restore it.
Okay. I used to keep my farm equipment in there, and I thought it was still in pretty good shape. But I mean, what's wrong with it? I know it has a new foundation.
It's correct. Foundation is in a great shape. The whole barn is leaning, few inches, and since the last storm we had, it leaned another couple of inches. So we braced it about a month ago, and just it needs repair. It's significant. So we have I'm getting in contact with one of the local structural engineers to to inspect it. We had somebody else looking at it already, but it's, you know, it needs to be,
Yep.
gonna hold it for anytime.
Okay, I'll make a motion that, that this barn, there's a request to rebuild this barn under section 17.9 on the Potash Hill Road. I'll make a motion that we schedule a public hearing November 23rd at 7:30. I need a second.
Second.
Is that our fourth that evening?
Yep.
Yeah, well, we also have the continuation of
Yeah.
the Netherland Hollow garage. So that's really the 5th.
Will we be done by Thanksgiving?
I think they'll move along pretty quickly.
Okay.
Any other discussion before we vote? Seeing none, all in favor of having this on the agenda for next month, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? So carried. All right, other business. Continued consideration regarding 12.8 temporary uses. Did everyone get the very slight changes that we discussed at our special meeting? And are we ready to go to public hearing?
I'm good with it, Nick.
Okay. Janet? Janet, you're on mute.
I didn't get it
before
before tonight's meeting.
So I'm gonna have to rely on the rest of you if you think it reflects what we discussed at the last meeting.
The thing I'd like to ask is if anyone would consider moving the time back to 9 o'clock as opposed to 10 o'clock. How's
I think that would be, I'm not in favor of that. Because I think traditionally, I know that the town hall, when it was rented out, I know the Parks and Rec rent out the pavilion, and there are time limits, have traditionally been 10 to 10 p.m. That's just an example of two town-owned properties. Any comments, Robert, Con, or Deborah's suggestion? Yeah. But Janet, under 1283, temporary uses requiring no permit, under B, annual events that have, and this is now, it's been added, previously not been issued a zoning permit and have been held at the same, and then continue, location for a period of 5 years or more before a certain date of amendment. So I think it pretty closely relates what you suggested that we add there.
Right, because it's only those that never had a zoning permit. Right.
Right, or else, or else had been grandfathered because they had been in, they had these annual events for at least 5 years.
Okay.
And then 1283D, we said single day event by commercial entities in the B1, 2, 3, and 4 districts are exempt and don't need a permit. Now, what if there was somebody had a tent sale that was during a weekend, a Friday and a Saturday and a Sunday? we are exempting from needing a permit single day events. Did we want to have a single day event, and what was the rationale behind that single day for the 4 business districts?
Well, I didn't suggest the single day, but I think the reason that got inserted was because we don't define temporary. Temporarily could be, 6 months.
But okay, I'll give you for instance, if someone in the business district wanted to have a sidewalk sale for 2 or 3 days, we've allowed these to happen. We're not gonna necessarily get our, have an issue with that. As opposed to the single day event. In other words, because we say single day event in the commercial entities, do we then say a weekend event in a commercial entities of the 4 districts are needing something else? They're needing a permit, or do we, because let's say, I understand why we put single day event, but I don't want it to be confusing that if an entity wanted to have a sale outside on the sidewalk that lasted a weekend, that they would question that this single day event does not need a permit. Does that mean that a more than a 1 day event requires a permit? I guess that's my question.
What if we said something like single day events and sale events not to exceed 1 week?
I think that the rationale behind talking about the 4 business districts, that we really did not want to interfere with anything that they have done historically. Whether it's a 1 day or having a sidewalk sale for a weekend or even a week.
Did it have something to do with a non-commercial person having an event, having a single day tag sale or something like that?
No, that's why we added commercial entities.
Right.
Okay, right. I knew there was something.
Yeah. Well, I'm okay with single day event, so long as it's not interpreted that anything that a business might want to do on their own property or even on town property that they've historically done is confusing to them, in that they may think that they have to get a permit or at least go to the EO to get a sign off or something.
Could it just be explained that they're having 3 single day events in a row?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, we're in the process of trying to figure out anything that ever could possibly happen. And like Ray mentioned many times, that we're not clever enough to cover all the possibilities, unfortunately.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm happy to leave it, and I think that if our council feels in this, if we were to vote to go to public hearing tonight, we have 2 months, and I know that that we can slightly change a word or two, so long as the composition of what we're adding or deleting does not totally change the paragraph or the sentence. Right, Janet? Or Sherry,
Yeah.
we're able to do very small, insignificant changes, even during this waiting period to the public hearing.
Yeah, editorial type things.
Editorial, yep.
So then when we refer this to Mike Ziska, will we specifically ask him how to include your normal type several day sales events in that?
Yeah, why not?
So you want me to ask Mike how we can include several day sale events?
Yeah, that they don't have to require a permit.
Couldn't under D, we just tackle up to D, single day events or single weekend events, right? Just add the term there. Single day events.
Single day,
or single weekend events.
Yeah, but lots of businesses have week-long sales.
Well, we're only really concerned about the sale that incorporates more than just their commercial space. When they take things outside,
Mm-hmm.
that's really what we're discussing here.
Right.
And, you know, in my memory, I don't think other than my Blockman clothing store that, I can't think of too many other places where that happens.
No, but just say, for example, the Hickory Stick wanted to have a table with books out in the front for a week. We really wouldn't want them to have to get a permit, right?
No, correct. So single day, single weekend, is that what you said, right? Single day and single weekend events? Or are these on you? Sorry. No. I think we were just gonna add, we have single day event, we had a single day and single weekend event, or do we want to extend it to a weekday, single day event? I think, I would rather keep it to a single day or a single weekend, and not necessarily bring in that 7-day thing. And there's nothing that prohibits them from having two of these weekend events in a row. So we just had a single day and single weekend event by commercial entities in the B1, 2, 3, 4. Janet?
Well, that's better than just single day. I'm not sure it's includes everything we want to, but it's an improvement.
Well,
How about single day events lasting no more than 7 days?
Single day and events lasting no more than 7 days.
Okay, I mean, that's a whole week, you know. What do you think?
No longer a single day event then.
7 single days.
Right. Nice try.
Yeah.
I think we're having trouble thinking about something reading this.
that's a 7-day event.
Well, it's a series of single days, because it could be 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. No?
Single day event. Susan, say that again?
How about single day events lasting no more than 7 days total?
No, I think it should just be, take the single out then, just events lasting no more than 7 days.
Single day. Well, what if we just added an S to single day events?
How about multiple single day events by commercial entities? Single or multiple day events, plural, by commercial entities. No?
No, I don't mind that.
Single or multiple date events lasting not more than 7 days by commercial
Yeah, I'm
entities.
going to keep the 7 days on there. You got it.
Oh,
If we could. I'd rather keep it simple by either saying single day or single day or multiple day events. And, you know, I was sort of hoping to go to public hearing in December, and quite frankly, it doesn't matter to me if we go in December or January and get Mike's. We send this to Mike with sort of an asterisk by their 1283D. I think if we told him what we wanted to do, he'll come up with the right language.
I agree.
So we can either have a special meeting for in a week's time, or no, actually 2 weeks' time, for the purposes of just tweaking this. I'd also like to hear his comments, on the whole thing before we actually have to discuss it at public hearing.
So you want to do another meeting just to discuss this
Well,
again?
well, no, to
Get this straight.
to discuss what Mike Ziska would say about 1283D, but also he'll review the whole thing, which he would do for us anyway. So,
I think we gotta go back and think about what you're trying to do in this section we're talking about, that D section. Can you just read that? Can you just read that again? I don't happen to have it in front of me here. It's on my...
Well, I think before the change, which occurred in the last 2 weeks, I think it was just events in the B1, 2, 3, and B4 districts, that they were exempt from requiring a permit. Now what we're saying is a single day event by commercial entities in the B1, 2, 3, and 4 districts. Single day events.
Why don't you just eliminate the single day or multiple things and just talk about events by commercial entities in those districts? We're trying to give them a green light there, aren't we?
Right. We could do that. Events by commercial entities in the B1, 2, 3, and 4. I can't remember, Jen, who actually was, suggested that we put the single day or by commercial entities, which I think is a good idea. I thought you were part of that.
Well, I thought Deb did commercial entities.
Okay, yeah, I think that's very good.
And I don't remember who did single day.
Okay, what if we just eliminated the single day and just said events, plural, by commercial entities in the B1, 2, 3, and 4 districts are requiring no permit. Events, all right, what's an event?
Well, you've got that comment, April 1st comment from the planning commission who was worried about unintended consequences in that section.
What are the unintended consequences?
Well, I don't know.
I think that the planning commission was worried that somehow this was restricting what the commercial entities in our 4 business districts could do, but I just don't see that.
I agree. I think that's what they were trying to, not have us limit anything there.
Yeah. So let's just, for the sake of getting through this, that D, we scratch out single day, we just create, and we started with events, plural, by commercial entities in the 1, 2, 3, and 4 districts.
Okay, great. I like that.
I mean,
Okay.
Shelley or Janet, do you think we have to define events in our definitions? Because I think that
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Right. I think that the commercial entities in these 4 districts understand what we're talking about. Hopefully. We could say outside events. So as not to get ourselves in any kind of hotter water, we could either conclude how we want this D to be read, or we simply don't go to public hearing tonight and ask Zip about what's the best way to phrase this.
After we go to public hearing, we may get some other comments on different aspects that we might want to amend.
And I believe we can do that so long as it's not, so long as it's just editorial, or so long as it's a small change.
Yeah, so I think we should put the language in that Dave suggested, or you've been talking about. Go to public hearing, we'll hear from Mike. If we need to amend it at public hearing, or after the public hearing, we can do it then.
Okay, if we scratch out single day,
Right.
and we add an S to events, D, event by commercial entities in the B1, 2, 3, and 4 districts. Is everyone good with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I've got that April 1st letter in my hand. And the planning commission was talking about unlimited temporary events in the business districts. And so they quote to say, this clause would allow a property owner in a business district to stage multiple temporary events without regard to incidental or customary use, number of days, time constraints, or permitting requirements. Have we satisfied that concern by adding commercial entities to that? Or is that still a concern planning will have? So unlimited temporary events in the business districts is what they're talking about, and it says, property owners. This clause would allow a property owner in a business district to stage multiple temporary events without regard to incidental or customary use, number of days, time constraints, or permitting requirements.
Right, so we're just allowing businesses, not any property owner.
Right. So we did narrow that.
That means if a person
Right, the residential property owner still would need to get a permit, right?
Okay. I understand. Thank you.
But what the planning commission was thinking about was, in a way, restricting these tag sales, et cetera, in these 4 districts. There's nothing that someone can have a tag sale every weekend outside their shop.
Well, they can now. It's business use, right?
That's right, but according to what the planning commission said, it seems from what I gathered, from what Janet just read, that the planning commission is not happy with no restrictions. Am I reading that right, Janet?
Yeah, I think you're right. But we did restrict the residential properties now by making this section refer to commercial entities in the business districts.
Right. Well, okay, so if there happens to have been residences in the commercial districts, they now don't have the carte blanche to have their tag sale every weekend.
Right.
It's restricted to commercial entities, right?
Right.
Well, for the sake of getting this moving along, and I think that we're very close, and there may be some criticism, but we can tweak it a little bit faster than that. And that's what public hearings are for. Are we ready to actually take this slightly edited language now and send it to public hearing?
Yes.
Quickly, yes. Okay. Yeah. So, Tammy, you have the 1283D is now, we're proclaiming that it says now events by special entities, by commercial entities in the B1, 2, 3, and 4 districts.
Yes.
You got that?
Oh, sorry.
Tammy?
You're muted, Tammy.
Yes, I do. I was on mute. I got it.
So do you want me to send that to Ziska or no?
Okay, if that's the question, do we want to send it to Ziska until they go into public hearing, or do we want to go to public hearing and we'll send it to Ziska anyway?
We want to go to public hearing and send it to Ziska vote.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then,
So we'll be sending it out to the COGS and to Ziska.
and to the planning commission. So, I will make a motion that we take the amended sections of 12.8
Thank you.
in its entirety to public hearing on the December regular meeting, or do we want to have a separate meeting on this?
Why is this December?
What are you talking about? Having a public hearing at our regular meeting?
Yeah, or have a separate meeting.
I thought it had to be a separate meeting, doesn't it?
No.
No, we can have it at a regular meeting. But,
No.
That would be December 21st.
okay, that's a Monday, right?
Yes.
Well,
We're as close to Christmas.
yeah. This is, I'd like to hear what you all have to say about, and I don't know how booked up we're gonna be for December, but we got a lot in November to deal with these public hearings. So we could have it a separate day like the previous, we could have it on the 14th of December, a special meeting for the purposes of a public hearing regarding 12.8. I have no idea. So that's, I think that would be our option if we wanted a separate meeting. And we typically have had separate meetings for these kind of things.
Judging from the turnout that we've had before, I think it would be wise to have a separate meeting.
Okay.
I would be in favor of that, doing a December 14th meeting with June 5th.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, then my motion to go to public hearing regarding 12.8 would be for December 14th. We want 7:30? 7 o'clock? It's up to us.
7.
Well, we've beat this amendment discussion so long now. I'm afraid of switching the time on people to try to move it.
All right, at 7:30, I got it.
Yeah.
That's fine, it'll be via Zoom.
Yep.
I'm bringing my
I don't
pajamas.
have a choice there. So that is my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Dave, thank you. Any last discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, so carried.
But I think our votes, Nick, on this have been consistently 5-0. I hope we can maintain that on our final decision for this darn thing. In case it ever comes up that 4-1 or 3-2 was less than optimal. So just a comment that let's shoot for that.
And if the planning commission is still not in favor of any part of these changes, then we would have to have a super majority, 4-1.
That was behind my suggestion, right?
Yeah. I agree with your theory, your interest in request. All right. Continued discussion regarding the letter from the Planning Commission Chair Wayne Heilman regarding section 3.2 zoning district boundaries and extending the waiver to Depot and Woodville. As much as I don't want to punt this down to another meeting, I'm not sure I want to get into it tonight, but I think we have to lay out for our own worksheets as to exactly what there's also the 3.2, but then there's also the regulations are in section 12. I can't remember what section it was where the waivers we gave to White Horse in Marbledale and to the Titus Garage. So I think we just have to have it very well spelled out. This is what we have. This is what we want to do. And I'll work on it with Tammy in the next couple of weeks so we can send it to everybody and we can then, they're pretty straightforward.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Okay, Nick, are you still on?
I'm still here.
Okay. Let's hear what you've been up to.
You know, a little this and that and the other thing. Hopefully everybody got my report. The only thing really to highlight is that 57 Plantation Avenue did go to the Zoning Board of Appeals for the special exception under 17.5, and they were denied. So it's up to them to make the next move. I do.
Them being who? It's up to them to make the next move. Who's them?
Being 57 Plantation Avenue.
The owners of the property, okay.
They were denied, they can't appeal, but what they've been doing is they've been in contact with Eversource, who owns some property right next to them. And if they can purchase some property of Eversource, maybe 15 feet of their property by maybe 20, 25 feet, they would have their structure out of nonconformance. So this is where, you know, we're working towards to get them out of the hole they dug.
It's my understanding that there's no height problem with that structure, right?
We have no idea because we have never been given elevations. The land use department has never been giving elevations of the proposed building that's being built.
Looks huge, great.
How can that happen?
3.5 stories. They have no permits at all?
Well, they never came to land use for a zoning permit.
They did go to building. They did go to the building department, though, correct?
They did go to building, right? But they never came to land use to discuss the demolition and not only reconstruction, but reconstruction with extra volume.
Yeah. We got a real disconnect with the building department then.
I don't know about that. I can't speak to that, but
Right. You don't have to. That's just my conclusion.
No, but we're trying to find a solution for them to help them out. Period.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, other than 57 Plantation, the only other thing that I didn't have on my report was basically Fran Hodges over in Roxbury Road. We still get complaints from the neighbors that they're doing stuff they shouldn't be. And there's a complaint, I will go by and photograph from the driveway what's going on. Apparently he's just stockpiling tree trunks and shrubs. That could be for burning, whatever, but it's something he's allowed to do.
yeah.
Nick, a question. This could have been in the report, and I apologize. I just didn't get the reports this week. Regarding Haysted on River Road, did they ever get a zoning permit for farming?
Yes, they did. They did change their residential use to a farm use.
Great. And I also got a question about the height of the accessory structure that they're building. So have you reviewed that, and is the height okay?
Yes, I did review their plans that were submitted and farming, but that is okay.
Okay.
They are also planning to build a residence on that structure. That property.
Well, don't they already have they have a dwelling on that property, and they have a detached apartment already, so are you saying that they're gonna propose another detached apartment?
Well, that's on number 52 River Road. Number 60 River Road is the farm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And there is an existing farm on number 60 which they will demolish.
Oh, okay.
Right. And that, I believe this has a detached accessory apartment in it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Right, which they will get rid of.
Okay.
And actually, they just started framing within the past 2 weeks, so the foundation is is complete, and they're starting the framing process.
Okay, thank you.
They have at least some rafters up, and I saw from across the river today, so they're working on it.
They're moving full steam ahead.
Yep. Well, I think I know what the answer is about the road good. I mean, I know you say same. Is there no, time limit on when they have to post this bond for demolition work?
No.
So this could go on for 40 more years.
I think it's in their interest not to go on that long. I think, the Flowers want to move forward as soon as possible, but it's the court, things that are keeping them from moving forward.
Court things imposed by the neighbors, you mean?
Correct, yes.
Oh.
I don't know, I think that the appeal for the special permit is a separate issue than the state of that property. The unsafe conditions on that property, I think is a separate issue.
I agree. I think they should be separate issues.
Well, I can put that, observation to Carrie, but she's the one who told me when I asked about, the, time constraints regarding the, them putting a bond up for the, cleaning of the burnt building, and she said everything's on hold because, they're back in court. So I can ask her, why they cannot be separate.
Well, they're back in court. I thought they got ruled against. Now it's under appeal. Is that correct?
Yes.
The lower, Shelley, why is it that Carrie is, I know she's wetlands, legal counsel, but I'm not exactly sure why she's weighing in on this one.
Because it's the cleaning up of the zoning of the, burnt building was a wetlands,
It's
permit.
also our issue though, too, because
Yeah, but it's also our issue. And I thought that that's what the,
It went to wetlands, and wetlands is the one who requested the bond, which is why they haven't started anything, because they have to put the bond up for the wetlands permit.
can we take the issue away from wetlands? And zoning?
do we want to?
Exactly.
I think the neighbors and people on 101, surrounding 101 would certainly like that to be cleaned up. I also think that,
Well, they're the ones that are holding up.
well,
Exactly.
Some of them.
I also think that we're exposing the town to liability, even though Nick does not, the zoning enforcement officer Nick does not agree with me. It doesn't have to be located in the center of town to be a nuisance and dangerous, and it goes against our zoning regulations that says we allow this kind of dilapidated property to just go on.
Well, it would help if there were some blight ordinances.
You're absolutely right. That's one of the things.
No, you're right, Deborah, you're absolutely right. The problem is with the existing zoning regulations, we only have so much enforcement. It would be great if we had blight ordinances, because then we could have done this years ago.
We do have something in there about, which I was referring to, and I can't remember the.
It's the abandoned building issue?
Yes.
That's like section 2 of the zoning regs, Kelly or Janet? Can't remember what section it is.
Yes, it's in section 2, correct.
Right.
But if we take a look at that,
But we issued a cease and desist order in accordance with that particular section.
well, why can't we do that again?
Well, I thought it was still, I thought the cease and desist order was still in play.
2.3.3, the zoning commission shall authorize the zoning enforcement officer who shall have the responsibility and authority to enforce the provisions of these regulations in accordance, blah, blah, blah. So we could give him the authority
But
to,
there is also the discussion specifically about abandoned buildings.
right, that's right after the abandoned building.
And it says that, read that section.
So 3.3.2 is the one that, A, is the one that's abandoned buildings, which may be detrimental to the health, safety, and welfare of townspeople, or impair property values. That's one of the regulations. And then 2.3.3 says, the zoning commission shall authorize a zoning enforcement officer who shall have the responsibility and authority to enforce these provisions. Just take a look at it, read it yourselves. I don't see how you can interpret that any other way.
Oh, no,
I'm a lawyer, so, you know.
So my point is that is a separate issue than the appeal of the special permit approval.
And that's what I'm saying.
So I don't think one should hinge on the other, and I don't think anything that the neighbors have done to appeal that special permit should impact enforcement of this abandoned building regulations.
That's correct.
Oh, no, you're right. And actually, according to Mike Ziska, abandoned is something that if they came in there tomorrow and tried to rehabilitate, it wouldn't be abandoned anymore. So it's not necessarily black and white on what's abandoned. And as far as a health and safety factor, if you're gonna trespass on somebody's property, good luck to you. You shouldn't be there.
Okay, Nick, but the problem is that these are in our regs. We're supposed to be protecting the town people from abandoned buildings. If this is in our regs, then we need to do that, because then they can say, it's not only the property owner's fault, it's also the town's fault, because they didn't do what they were supposed to do in 2.3.3.
Deborah, surprisingly, I agree with your logic there. But I should have said that, I'm sorry. That's all
That was horrible.
Well, when I see what Nick is saying, and he said this the last time too, it technically isn't abandoned if they're planning on coming in and building a hotel there. You know,
But
so.
they're not gonna use that building for the hotel though.
Right. So I think that we should like that, and you know, like he said that he ruled on the abandoned thing before. Maybe he'll set me at ease by telling me that it's not abandoned.
I'm not a lawyer myself, and if we need, maybe we can get Mike Ziska's, input on this, but, he has given input before. And it's not a black and white situation, unfortunately, the way our zoning regulations are written. And I wish I could do something, believe me. Not that I don't have enough stuff to do right now, but with getting 30 generators in the past couple of weeks and stuff like that to have to process.
Getting what? I missed that.
Oh no, we had like an influx of generators coming into the land use department, like 30 plus.
Right, yeah.
And we have been I haven't been able to get out and even inspect the sites that I need to inspect, just because I've been so busy in the office.
Yeah.
And I'm dying to get out. It's still good weather out there,
Okay, I asked my question.
Okay, anything else, Nick? You good?
I'm good unless anybody has any other questions.
Good. All right, moving on to communication.
We don't have any.
Is it about to do it again? I heard a click.
That's the right answer.
Privilege of the floor. Hearing none. Administrative business, I don't think we have too much.
No.
No? I will,
Nick,
yes.
sorry, it's Howard Barnett, sorry, if we still have privilege of the floor, I really do encourage the commission to get advice about the enforcement of the abandoned building on Wickham. I think everyone seems to agree, those buildings are no way